Hello guys, so today I'm trying to solve this problem. Given a string s, find the max value of length of a palindrome times occurrence of a palindrome in a string. So we are trying to find out the maximum product of the length and the number of times a palindrome appears in a string. So this problem was presented by Vaibhav, who is an engineer at Google. So I'll try to solve this problem right now. First I'll take an input string. So right now I would consider, say, ASD SA, race car, and then again ASD SA and hello. So here ASD SA has a length of 5, race car has a length of 7, ASD SA has a length of 5 again. So ASD SA should be the uh, palindrome which we get in our output. So now, firstly, what I'll do is I'll find out all the palindromes from this string. So what I'll do is I'll create const palindromes equal to, okay. So first I need to split this input string into an array. So const input array equals to input dot split, and I would split it based on a space. So on each individual level, I get a space. So I'll log this output and node new. Okay, so we are getting each of these palindromes as a separate element in our array. So now what we need to do is we need to find out which of these elements is a palindrome and store them in a separate array. So const palindrome array equals to I would use a FlatMap here maybe. So input array dot FlatMap. So FlatMap is a relatively new function. It was introduced in Node 11, and most of the modern browsers support it, but you might need to check your Node version to see if you can run it. So what FlatMap does is it allows you to combine the map and filter function. So it allows you to get a smaller array from a larger array. So that's not its intended functionality, but that's what I try to use it for. So here it would be word. It would return an individual word, and for each word, I would check. Let me just disappear. Okay. For each word, I would check whether the word is a palindrome. So for that, I need to check if the straight word matches. So the word in the forward order matches with its reverse. So here I would check word equals to word dot split dot reverse dot join. So this is the logic for reversing an array. I've already shared this in a tweet thread that I made recently, so you can check that out to understand what's happening here. So after this, if the word is equals its reverse, then I return the word itself, or okay, sorry, that's not the ternary operator. This is then, or I return an empty array. So now if we log this output and run it, we can see that we are getting only the palindromes back. So hello is removed from the array. So now even from here, we only want the unique palindromes. So I just do a const palindromes equals to dot 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 new set palindrome array. And if we log this, then we only get the palindromes, the unique palindromes from the original string. So now what we need to do is we need to calculate the multiplication of these palindromes, and so the length of the palindromes and the number of times it appears. So preferably right now I will create a object which contains the name of the palindrome as the key and the amount of time it appears as the value. So it would be const, let's just call it occurrence equals to this, and I'm going to map over the palindromes array. So palindromes dot map palindrome, and let occurrence equals to 0, so it doesn't appear. And if so, I even want to iterate over the original array, so input dot map word. So if word equals to palindrome, then I want to increase the count of the occurrence. Okay, this shouldn't be here, and I want to add it to the occurrence object. So occurrence of palindrome equals to occurrence star palindrome dot length, and let's console.log this and let's check. Okay, so input.map is not a function, right? So we need to do it over the input array. So let me just change this, input array.map. Okay, so let's check if this is working correctly. So ASDSA appears twice in this function. It has a letter count of 5. So 5 into 2, that's 10. Racecar has a occurrence count of 7 and it appears only once. So 7 is right here. Let's check that by adding another racecar at the end. So racecar should now be 14 because it's 7 here. The letter count is 7 and it appears twice. So 7 into 2, that's 14. Right. So our code is working correctly. I'll remove that again just for consistency. Then we have the occurrence object here. So what I need to do now is find out the maximum element from this and then reverse its so check its key to find out what count it has. So what I'll do is object.keys, which returns me the keys of the object as a array. So object.keys, what's the object name again? Occurrence. So I'll map over it, and let's consider this. So let max key equal to, for now, nothing, I guess, and let max value equal to 0. So if anything crosses this, then we get something. So we map over the keys, and object.keys map key. So if occurrence of key is greater than max value, then what I'll do is I will set max key. Okay, I guess this needs to be like this, max key equals to key, and max value equals to max value equals to occurrence of key. Okay, not sure if this is allowed. So no. Okay, so I'll just wrap this in a block code. And then convert this into an if statement. So if then okay, let me just format this. Okay, so if occurrence of key is greater than max value, then max key equal to key and max value equal to occurrence key. Now I'll just console log this. So I'll say max key and max value. So that's node and right. So we had removed the race car, so 10 is the highest value with ASDSA. So that's returned from our function. Now if I add a race car here and test it out again. So yep. So our program is working correctly. Thanks for sticking till the end, guys. I generally post a lot of stuff, interesting stuff about programming and JavaScript on Twitter and LinkedIn. So be sure to follow me there. So to stay updated with interesting knowledge.